Ready? We're going to talk today about artificial intelligence. I'm sure everybody is aware that you're using it every day. Can you hear me okay, Doctor? Okay, good. The key is anytime you go on the internet or do anything, even with your smartphone, somewhere you're accessing artificial intelligence. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the concepts of artificial intelligence, and we're actually getting into live actual use of it while we're here, okay? What is artificial intelligence? First of all, artificial intelligence, in simple terms, is part of our daily life through assistance, recommendations, and creative tools. It learns from data. It recognizes patterns because the algorithms that the programmers develop can specify what area and what approach to take in making these decisions. It actually solves problems. An example is Siri. How many have an iPhone? How many times if I say Siri, my phone will ask me, what do you want? That's artificial intelligence, okay? Alexa. If you have an Alexa at home, there are a lot of good jokes about Alexa. Netflix, YouTube, it knows what you want based on the movies and programs you select, and I'm getting emails reminding me what new movies or series coming out with Netflix. Okay, who knows what a chat box is? Chatbot. It replaces a customer service rep or sales rep. If you go online, whether it's with your computer or with your smartphone, you know what you're doing? You're talking to a chat box instead of a person. That's artificial intelligence. If you notice, a couple years ago, it had a lot of issues where it kept going around in circles and it never got you to where you wanted. You had to end up talking to somebody. Today, they're so smart that they mostly 90% of the time will answer the question because of all the data that comes into it, and it keeps learning. Okay, it's like a 3-year-old growing up, learning all the time.
Oh, that's a question. What is your definition of an algorithm? What is that? Not at all.
Okay, I will. Okay, we'll say that question.
All right.
The reason we'll put it into artificial intelligence, it'll give us the answer. Any questions you have, if you have a pencil and paper, write them down, and rather than me answering them, we'll actually ask artificial intelligence. There are a number of different programs. We're going to access 3 of them. And I'll get into that later. It collects data. Every time anyone accesses artificial intelligence, it's collecting your data as well as other people's data based on the algorithm that it's using, a specific task, okay? Trains models. What that is, it actually trains itself and models itself based on the input it gets, based on the algorithms that are written for that particular task. It actually makes predictions. Okay, they're using artificial intelligence now to forecast the weather. Very, much more accurately than a meteorologist could. It improves over time as we use artificial intelligence. It does not think like us. Remember, it's a computer, and it's not human. What narrow AI is, it is able to do specific tasks. These are specialized that it was programmed to do, okay? I have an iPhone, and a lot of the applications I use for security requires my facial recognition, okay? That's artificial intelligence. China knows everybody because they have cameras throughout the whole country, and it knows where you are, and we're getting that way as well because we have all these cameras now. You notice how quickly they could identify suspects in a robbery case or a murder case based on video that they receive over all these different phones, the security cameras, traffic light cameras, everything. It's all capturing data, all right? Translation of languages. Right now, I'm on Zoom, and Zoom will also allow my English to be translated into Mexican or Arabic so that somebody on the other end will read what I'm saying in their native language, okay? I use Duolingo. Anybody familiar with Duolingo? That's artificial intelligence because it's talking to you and you're learning the language of Arabic or Spanish or Portuguese. I do 4 different languages on Duolingo that I still don't know what I'm saying. I've been doing that for about 4 years, over about 2,300 straight days without, it tracks all that, and it compares my actual usage for the week compared to previous week. And it gives you a summary for the whole year, all artificial intelligence. Now, they have thousands of people, keyboard entry data specialists, entering all the data and everything to keep it updated. There's another thing that we have. Generative AI is artificial intelligence that actually creates content. It actually creates it like it gathering all this information, and it has that to where that content is available for us. Now, there's another that's not available to us today, and that's called general artificial intelligence. That's not available today. The reason is it's not human. When they get into general artificial intelligence, that means it is like us. And that, I don't hope, will never happen. Okay. Where do we see artificial intelligence? Every day in our life, we see it in our smartphones, the applications that we have, social media. Who uses Facebook? You have now Meta. It will ask you if you want to take what you wrote, you're posting, and create a more professional or have more empathy. Have you noticed that? And it will give you the information that you wouldn't think about writing, it will write for you. Online shopping. Artificial intelligence is always gathering what you buy, what you search for, because if you go into a website, guess what? You get an ad of that particular product. Have you noticed that? That's all artificial intelligence. Maps, navigation. I'm with my son in San Francisco area, in Palm Springs, and he's on his phone all the time. I mean, I said, and he's a professor. I said, oh my God, this is his companion. He's talking to it consistently. I said, Jacob, what are you doing? He says, I'm talking to artificial intelligence. We all have that on our smartphone. And I'm asking best restaurants to go to, best parks, how far are they? And he's doing this constantly. If there's a question he has, he talks to his mic, to the mic. He doesn't type it in, he just talks to it. I'll show you how to do that, okay? Have you done that before on your phones? Who hasn't? All right, I'll show you some pictures. Navigation. Who has GPS? Artificial intelligence. You tell it where you want to go. You want to add a stop. Who's added a stop to an existing trip? It will add that to you. It'll tell you how much time, how many miles, and I've noticed over the last few years, I'm right on with the time. No matter where I go, I can't. That's algorithms. It takes into consideration traffic, because people are feeding. If you notice, there's detour, there's construction, there's a collision ahead, police, whatever. And it tells you, and it shows you where the yellow or orange or the red line, where the traffic is held up. All artificial intelligence. Yes. It's amazing. And I was using, believe it or not, in 1995, I was the sales director for Reynolds, and we used MapLinks and the Normie, and we had a GPS and a disc that we had in our laptop, and I had all the salespeople. Would go to a city, there'd be about 10 salespeople. It used to take 3 weeks for the sales rep to list all the dealers they wanted the salespeople they're from out of state coming in. He would have a folder for each rep, and in the morning they would all call on these by hand. It's all done by hand. Take that rep 3 weeks. He'd use a RAND atlas, copy it, show where each dealer was. We got automation in 95. We got these applications, and we were able to take the database, create an area. This is like 30 years ago, right? Create an area, and each area was separated by sales rep. And within half an hour, they all had the dealers they were going to go to. We actually had GPS back then. We were so far ahead of technology back because we were with computers. And it's amazing how much today was what we had, because we used those tools before. Spam filters. My iPhone, I don't get calls that recognize it's a spam call. Do you have that set up? You can set up on your smartphone. And the vendor that you have your phone company with can also provide you with spam filters. Chat box, I spoke about that. That's where you don't have to talk to a person. You just type in what you want and you speak into it, and it will tell you, oh, you got to do this or that if you have a situation like a problem, or if you want to purchase something. So that's what chatbots is. How do we use artificial intelligence? We use it for education. These are all positive uses, okay? We've seen some really bad uses of it, okay? What we want to just dwell on are how good is when we use artificial intelligence. Healthcare, accessibility, environment, creativity, and productivity. These are all good uses that really show you for help, for education. Personalized learning. I know teachers today and professors use artificial intelligence to verify, for example, if something's been plagiarized, there's plagiarized software. They'll check to see if somebody used artificial intelligence to create their own report. Translation, they can take information and translate it from one language to another. It can help them with their planning, for study. I mean, these are instant information provided that would normally take someone hours, days, or even weeks to produce, okay? It supports the teacher, okay, in many ways. She could use artificial intelligence for educating the kids with like a dictionary instead of having a world atlas or whatever. Show different things of the country, Wikipedia. I mean, there's so many uses that it can be used for a teacher. Healthcare, early disease detection. I spoke to someone who had microsurgery on their knee. The doctor didn't do it. It was done by robotics, and the doctor followed what the robotics were doing. It was very small work on her knee. So they're using it for all types of things in the medical. And it also provides mental health tools and research. You can have artificial intelligence based on the algorithms that were written for research. Look at blood samples, tissues, and anything, all kind of comparative analysis in seconds or minutes versus what it takes maybe days, right? Even cancer research, it's used for diabetes research. Accessibility and inclusion. Speech to text, we all use that. You ever touch the microphone on your smartphone and you talk to it and it types out what you're doing? And then text to speech. Have you ever had an article come in and touch the microphone and or the headset, and it reads what you wouldn't have to read? So you can, instead of reading a 7-minute page, it actually speaks to you. It translates the text. A writing support. There's so many different things. Creativity. Oh, I use this all the time. Writing ideas. And we'll do some of that live. Writing ideas is so good for all of us, because how many times are you thinking about something, and you have some ideas, and you want to expand on it? Just put those ideas into artificial intelligence. Tell it what you want it to do, and it'll do it for you in seconds. Art and design. I use this a lot because with the Civitan Club, I created a banner. It's actually a flyer, because I watched 60 Minutes and they talked about loneliness, how really bad that it is for our generation since texting came in 2012. More people don't talk to each other, and there's quite a few loneliness in our society. So I put in a few words on loneliness, and I said, write something up for Civitan, and I'm not going to liar. It knew about Civitan, all the work we do, and I have it on my iPhone. I can show you if you're interested. Music, my neighbor said, Tony, I want you to listen to this. He has a website, and she said, I told this website what I wanted about this girl. It was his first wife, and he described her a little bit. He says, could you write me a really nice song for her? And it wrote a song, a beautiful song. It created its own music. So I did the same thing, and I can't find it somewhere, but there are apps that you can actually write songs and send them to somebody. Video editing. I use this a lot. If you use, you capture a lot of videos with your smartphone, and you need to merge them or whatever, or cut them off or whatever, edit it. There's applications that will enhance your photos, enhance your videos, and turn it. If you capture a video like this, it's sideways, there's artificial intelligence that will change it to be so that you can see it upright. Games. Well, I believe this came out when they had computer chess. Okay, artificial intelligence beats when IBM had that. IBM had a program for chess, and it beat the world champion chess player years ago. You remember that? Yes. Okay. Remember, artificial intelligence is available 24/7. Okay, it's your administrative partner. You can schedule meetings. You can send reminders. You can have, when I do Zoom, I use artificial intelligence for my meetings, even for this meeting here when I'm using Zoom. And what it does, it gives me a summary and things that we need to execute. It summarizes those and it gives a summary for each topic. And when you're using artificial intelligence for meetings, always have the person give their name so it knows who said what for that. And you can see so many other things. Tools, Google Gemini, Microsoft Copilot, ChatGPT, we'll use those live here, okay? Have any of you used any of those? Okay. How about Microsoft Copilot and Gemini? All right, let's see here. Okay, we can use AI, learn positively learn skills, organize our life. You can I'll give you an example. Learning skills. I can create a information for me to learn about certain area I'm going to, or I can learn language, artificial intelligence. I'll show you how you can do a health for your life based on age and keep it simple. So you can create any, just about anything you can imagine with artificial intelligence. Improve communication. You have a letter you want to send, but you don't know how to send it, but you have the basics of it. I can have artificial intelligence created so it's easy to read. Okay? I could have explore ideas. Tell me some of the things I can do. At 3 o'clock today, I'll be in Dayton, Ohio, and I'd like to visit some really nice places, spend about 2 hours. Okay? They'll tell you based on the information it has for Dayton, Ohio. They'll actually solve problems, right? Mathematical, scientific, medical. You want to avoid, things to be responsible and ethical use of AI is avoid misinformation. Now, you get a piece of information that so-and-so, whatever, could be political, whatever. Never rely on the information you get. You can always put that information into AI, see where the source came, and you can't trust AI all the time. Each application will give you something a little differently. So my recommendation is use 2 or 3 different, like maybe use AI with chatbot, with Copilot, Gemini, or one of the others. And you'll see you might get different answers. Okay, and I'll show you that. Protect the privacy. You want to make sure privacy is always protected. Don't cheat. Verify the information. And give credit where credit is due. Not take credit that somebody else did, especially if you're at the top of the country. You know? Common myths. First of all, AI replaces jobs. That's not true. It doesn't replace all jobs. What it does, it will replace some jobs, but it will require us to find more technology to do things and more people to do them. AI is always correct, false. You always have to verify the information. AI has no conscience, so it doesn't know that. But it is a tool created by humans. Future of AI, probably the strongest growth today in technology. It is drastically changes the way we work and the way we learn. And it's always creating new opportunities. Okay, we're going to go into some real examples. All right. Now you're welcome to take out your smartphones or your tablets, whatever you have. Okay, when you get a prompt for AI, it's always going to ask you, first of all, what is the problem? You're going to have to know what your problem is. And can you all see that? And how long would it normally take? You type the prompt in the prompt line what the problem is, and you will show the results. And you want to ask, would this help you? If it doesn't look right, then you continually fine-tune the question to AI, and it will continually improve its answer. Does that make sense? Oh, I like that. For example, have you ever had a letter you wanted to write, you wanted to make it professional? All right, here's an example. Go to, who has ChatGPT? Okay, in your chat, open up ChatGPT, whatever you use, if you have your smartphone. Oh, that's all right. Do you have a smartphone? Okay, go open up ChatGPT. Do you use that? All right, here, let me do it. Okay, let's go through one. Let me show you how this works. All right, I have here a direct. Okay, this is going to take us directly to it. See, what can I help you with? See that? This is ChatGPT. Oh, you can't see that, can you? Hold on, let me. Yeah, hold on. You're right. Hold on. Let me do that. Hold on. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Oh, our battery's been. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we do that. Okay. Oh, it doesn't show that on here. All right, I'm gonna.
Oh, you just drag it into here.
No.
Grab the window and drag it. It will move over.
Come here, show me. Okay, this is the. Yeah, it's stuck on the. Okay, good. Okay, great. Okay, good. Okay, the only thing is I can't enter anything in there. Oh, wait, here we go. Oh, yeah, here we go. All right. Okay, let's ask, what was the question you had? All right, algorithm. What is an algorithm? See, algorithm is just a step-by-step set of instructions for getting something done. Think of it like a recipe. You follow the steps in order. Each step is clear. Can you all see that? Then it asks, if you want, I can explain for kids with a real-life example or how algorithms affect social media and AI. So I can ask you even more information, and it will continue to refine that. Does that answer your question, Tim?
Yeah.
What else do you want? You want to refine it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you see that? Brushing your teeth, good guy. Now let's do the other question I was going to suggest. Write a professional letter. See what I did? I'm writing to formally request a temporary delay or extension on my current water bill due to an ongoing issue with my water service. Then you can come down here, and it has where you put in your service address, all that information. If you'd like, it can also make this shorter, adjust it to sound more firm or more friendly, rewrite it as a printed letter instead of an email, customize it for a specific water utility, City of Dayton, Montgomery County. Now you don't have to sit there and think of what you want to write.
But you don't really need to read it. You don't have to read it. ChatGPT has this stuff up. You really need to read the letter.
I will show you. I did a ChatGPT, and then I did a Microsoft Copilot, and Gemini. They all come up with different things for a particular topic. Okay, but it was very good for each one, but it wasn't the same. In other words, it was different. So that's one thing you can do is have, and these are free, by the way. Okay, ChatGPT allows you to do one thing a day without having to pay $20 a month for unlimited. Okay, it allows you to upload one document or one PDF, one photo without paying. Now, I had a request for proposal, and I didn't have time to do anything with solar, so I asked ChatGPT if it read PDF files. And this is a 29-page proposal. And it says, yes, upload, and I will look at it. And it gave a report on the proposal from different locations and based on the solar requirement and everything. Then I said, can you compare this proposal, request for proposal, with the products that I have? And I put we only needed 1.5 acres to produce 1 megawatt of electricity versus they require 5 acres to produce 1 megawatt. I put all the different things, and it came out with a phenomenal proposal, but I didn't submit it because I wasn't technical enough to really verify the information and develop. but it's really important.
You know, his friend of mine, a teacher, he at UD, he had a student that had lived with him for a while. He was from Saudi, I think. Then he tried to get back in the country to go to a function, and he wrote a letter, and he got denied. He did it on AI, and they approved it.
Well, it can think of everything, and it probably has more information than he had.
Well, actually, I can use four different AI platforms.
Yes.
You might get 3 or 4 positive variations of the recommend. What if we want to show something factual? Is it possible that because they're based on the platform that we'll get 3 or 4 different answers that may or may not be right?
It's possible. But the thing is, you can copy something from the like Wikipedia, and then paste it in there, and ask it what you want it to do or certain information, and it'll tell you. I mean, it has all kind of knowledge, but then it exaggerates sometimes. I put in trip for Pittsburgh, and it says at 10 o'clock, you leave at 10 o'clock, and you get there at 9. It got 2 hours to get to Pittsburgh. Well, guess what? It takes 4 hours to get to Pittsburgh. But then it gave me a lot of good information what I could do when I'm in Pittsburgh.
My son was a musician with a band, and he paid an artist like $5 to create a cover for his latest album, and then he asked to receive it created and gave us information about what he wanted on the cover. There was no doubt we all liked the cover better that we received created.
Oh, it's I might be able to pull some of the work I've done. Let me go here. What you want to do to keep using ChatGPT, here we go, is you backspace like this, then you can ask it again. So you could do this as many times as you want without having to pay. But once you complete, then that's your 24, and then you can't do anything for another 24 hours. All right? So now, for anything, you only get 1 day for free. That's the freebie. Now I have multiple chats in here. Let's come down here. You see what my column is? Here's things that I've done. Who knows what a credit score is? Yeah, you could. I asked it, and it gave me all kind of detail. Then it says, then I asked, how could I improve my credit? It gave me what I can do to improve my credit. Look at this. Here's a good question. I asked this question. I said, are the tariffs set by Trump hurting or helping our economy? Here, and then gives me the pros and the cons. And it pulled a lot of information from the media. Now, if I do this next week, it might be different because of more information coming into the system.
When I want to use this, I don't go to ChatGPT, I just go to my browser and ask questions in my browser.
Yes, let me show you. No, okay, it's a good question. First of all, Google is different than artificial intelligence. Okay, you have to Trust this. You can go to Google and just put your question in. You get a different way. You get a different result.
I'm not going to Google. I'm going to Safari.
Oh, so, same thing. Yes, but it right here. You see right here. What's that say? Copilot. I'm now in Copilot. Let me go to Google. I'm going to show you on Google. Here we go. No. You see right here? AI mode. Okay. I can go on my smartphone. You can go to ask anything. Unlimited. Okay. You see right here? I can talk to it. Let me see. Use your microphone. Hello, can you hear me? Yeah, okay. Can you answer Mary's, Mary has a question. Okay. Who wants to ask a question? Tom, you have anything? What was the greatest musical composition ever written? Beethoven Symphony number 3, number 9. Art, is it right?
When that question is answered, does it give you the greatest, was it popular thing ever written, or was it one of those sales in terms of albums, or in terms of, how does it, or in terms of quality?
Okay, hold on. Okay, that's a good question. How do you distinguish what the greatest musical work is? See, you don't ask a person, you ask artificial intelligence, and it gives you quite a bit of technical information that I would never understand. You read that? There's historical impact and longevity, cohesion and unity. Yes. I mean, it's quite a bit of information.
Sense, it all depends on what the model is trained to. Because and keep in mind that in general, the garbage in, garbage out concept applies 100% here. So that's why sometimes you're going to get an answer, they call it hallucination, where the actual model hallucinates and it makes up stuff. But it makes up things that look right, but they're complete feed. It makes up things that look right, but they're complete BS.
It could be like art.
Within the last week, there was a story in the New York Times. I'm sorry, I don't have a reference for you because
one of those stories that I read and then just moved on. And the Times did a survey of companies that use AI constantly. And they asked the question, how has AI improved your productivity? And if so, to what extent? And the companies that responded, and yes, it has improved productivity. On average, they said about 70%. And then they also pointed out that it wasn't really 70% because they had to spend 37% of their productivity correcting and making sure that the remaining stuff was accurate. So it was only increasing productivity by 33%. Now, increasing for whatever, however you define productivity, you know, increasing productivity by 30% in any previous age would have been monumental, miraculous. Okay, and this doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, it seems pretty common there that this is what's happening. So we're in a really great flux.
There's your 33% of company executive reports the
What you said. So this is what's called large language model or something like that. Yeah. And then what's the other one? Machine language or something? But there's another one that's what's that? I mean, machine generator.
Machine learning.
Yeah, machine learning. That's just AI.
Well, so the term AI is a little bit of a misnomer because there is no artificial intelligence. You're looking at something called large language model. What it does very fast, iterative analytics. Yeah. It does not do original thought. The real AGI is called, I think it's called artificial general intelligence. That is not do it. So basically, you're looking at a model that somebody creates that is trained on a large set of data.
Yeah.
And it's doing an iterative analysis of the data to give you an answer. Machine learning is when that model takes your behavior into account as it does the research. The concept of training the model and the adaptability of the model is machine learning.
Training the model.
Well, actually, are there algorithms and other stuff? That's supposed to, human beings don't put that information in?
Yes.
Somebody has to come up with all of
Yes.
it. Okay, in my world, that's what we do, we all came up with it.
Right.
Is that standard?
Because at the end of the day, there's a programmer sitting behind the screen creating the algorithm and training the model on that algorithm.
Okay, so it's still human beings.
Yes.
right. Remember earlier in the presentation, I said you have thousands of data putting information in.
No, I missed that, putting these things in. I think
Yes.
it's coming out of the computer somehow.
Well, that's how it gets into the computers. The
Okay,
people
that's-
putting it in. Yes.
Really, well, I think lots of people jobs.
Oh, yeah,
That's
absolutely.
jobs.
India, and there's certain countries that really have a lot of employees doing that, like India and some other countries, even China.
Well, it's kind of like that, basically back in the days you started the computer with people sat there and put all those cards in with all the holes and all the
Oh, yeah.
big machines, and, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's the same idea, but I think it's
It's all ones and zeros. Everything. All digital, ones and zeros. Everything is ones and zeros. And if you go,
But do you remember when they started TNT equipment to manufacturing? Everybody said, there's one more job. What happened? The job shifted. Instead of sitting there putting things together, now you're sitting in there programming the TNT. Now, did we lose some job? Yes.
last time what you got.
That's something different and different type of job. I am very skeptical of what people say about artificial. It's a very simplified response to these because you still have to sit in there and the model. There is a huge concern of security. So for example, in healthcare, you're sitting in there, you're using AI. You have to build your own AI engine to encapsulate it within your security because that AI can go out. That information, that private information, now go on the World Wide Web. Now, anything you do on ChatGPT is basically you have to inform the next answer for the next person. But there's no intellectual property in that. And so there's a lot of concerns, and companies are spending a lot of energy to actually take care of these features. So when they say this much productivity increase, I truly question that. Because I don't think they've done the proper analysis yet. It's too early. And then the other thing to consider is there are areas where AI is great. So if you're a programmer and you're writing a piece of code, if code is code, it's executable, then the program will tell you if your code is right or not. Right. But when you write that code, when you ask ChatGPT to generate a code or one of those models, it code to do something, it's probably 99% wrong. Because
It's machine learning.
When you write a code and you execute it, the program will tell you if your code is executable or not. And that's what ChatGPT or those models do.
But isn't that still better than human nature?
Well, that's what I'm saying. In some cases, you would see a benefit. But for example, in the medical field, there is a huge research, and I think it's great. So now there's a database built of all X-rays from all around the world with diagnoses and things like that. So what happens is you as a radiologist, we might see radiologist jobs back a little bit, not entirely, but maybe radiologists will become better as we go forward. Because now the machine is going to take the X-ray, compare it to billions and billions of X-rays, and the diagnoses that were made, and then come back and present to the physician top 10 possible diagnoses. Then the clinical judgment of that physician will come into play and say, no, I did this. So is that great? That is fantastic. I don't get really well, but that's fantastic. I'm not for that. But the question is, can you take clinical?
Welcome everyone. In today's video, we're going to be keeping it simple. I'm going to explain
The we're going to ask ourselves two questions. What is a computer? And how does it work? Takes a few seconds. As you can see, computer remains defined as a programmable electronic machine designed to store, retrieve, and process information. And its most fundamental level is an input-output machine that takes raw data and then transforms it into useful results. And like I said before, the computer receives data from the outside world. This happens through hardware like keyboards, mice, touch screens, or microphones, which convert physical actions into digital signals, zeros and ones. And from there on, everything happens. The stronger and more powerful the computers are, the more advantageous it is to create programs with artificial intelligence.
These are key takeaways. AI helps people start faster. AI saves time and reduces stress. AI supports, it doesn't replace people. AI is a tool that gives people superpowers. These are the AI resource tools that you can use. These are the AI programs. ChatGPT.com solves any problem. It's free unless you need to use it more than once a day. It's free daily. Every 24 hours it resets itself. Or if I told you before, if you backspace, you can use it with another question, copy and paste it into something else, and then backspace and use it again. Pickwish.com, it removes backgrounds from photos. If you're standing next to somebody that you don't like, you can have this application remove that individual or background and edit that photograph. Perplexity AI researches anything. Canva.com is design graphics. You can use this for creating banners, posters, logos, anything that requires a design. Grammarly.com. I've been using that in Word document, Microsoft Word, for years now. It reviews and edits your grammar and spelling. Copilot, it's generated through Microsoft. It's AI that is free, and it's you can just type in copilot.com in your browser, and you'll have the access to the application. I use fireflies.ai. It's free for so many uses, then you have to delete some of the storage to continue using it. And it's great for note-taking for meetings. It will automatically log into a Zoom meeting and record the meeting in addition to your artificial intelligence that AI is used with Zoom. So there's an opportunity if you're using Fireflies to use it as a secretary, especially like our club that I belong to. I use copies of the Firefly from the Zoom call and attach that to the minutes. I do the same thing with another organization I belong to that I'm a secretary. And Zoom artificial intelligence, it records the meetings and it also provides transcripts. I really like this because it gives you the action items that need to be done by individuals. The final takeaway on all this, artificial intelligence is neutral. It doesn't belong to any particular party. It's a neutral application. And humans decide how it's used. And remember, use artificial intelligence for good. Thank you. That ends our presentation.